This sounds like it might be a good time to mention to everyone, because I've seen this popping up a few times now. People asking your Alice 1, Alice 2 remake, remaster stuff, and there is a Nightbot question. Or did you remove it?
I might have taken that out of there because I thought maybe it would be kind of confusing to say, like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, anything to do with Alice 1 and 2, remakes, remasters, HD stuff, ask EA. It's all, the ball is entirely in their court with that stuff.
But I also think it's worth mentioning that I don't think EA believes...
This is going to scroll past.
I saw it. He's asking about the pipeline. A development environment engine modeling software choice may be glimpsed into the workflow of developing Alice. I'm guessing you're talking about Alice Madness Returns, because we use two different technologies. You might want to clarify that. While you're clarifying that, which game are you talking about? Or maybe both. I don't think EA is going to have any interest in doing a remaster of any of the Alice games. You have to remember that, you know, when you do a remaster, you generally want to have the team that made the original product still around and familiar with the underlying technology. I mean, this goes to the question the guy's asking about, or girl, I don't know, so I don't mean to misgender you, but, you know, what did we use to make the games? Well, the first game, Alice, American McGee's Alice, was made, you know, back in 2000, and that was using a modified version of the Quake engine built atop a tool set from a company called Ritual, where they had built something called Fact 2, which was based on, what's that comic? I can't remember now. Anyway, the point is that team's gone, that technology's probably largely lost, and the idea that someone would go in and rebuild all the assets and all the design stuff and whatnot, it's just... I just don't see it happening. It would be an incredibly expensive thing. I mean, it would cost as much as making a new game. And I think that the same thing applies to the question of remastering. Yeah. Somebody's saying, upgrade your weapons. Come on. Why? Come on. What should we upgrade? Maybe we upgrade the... I like the pepper grinder so much. Probably... Let's do that. Maybe that's whatever's most annoying to people who are watching. Not that! Don't upgrade that, you fool!
It's at full power now. So.
It is at full power. So yeah, I don't think it makes financial sense for EA to want to remaster these games. It's yeah. So I mean, I hope that answers part of that question. So then on to the question about that the guy paid for in Super Chat about development environment. The first Alice game was made using a modified version of the Quake 3 engine that was put together by a company called Ritual for their heavy metal Fact 2 game. The original development team was Rogue Entertainment, which was a company that was closely aligned with id for a long time, so they had a lot of experience building games in the Quake technology. That team, I don't think it ever got to be more than about 20 people, and that was including me, because I was also doing some of the level design and obviously doing design work and stuff like that for the game. The second game was using the Unreal 3 engine, and that team, you know, if you counted sort of the 90 people we had in the Spicy Horse office and then also combined together 100 and something plus, I feel like I'm going the wrong direction. Outsourced people who were doing 3D assets and animations. Then we had something like 200 people working on that project, and that's not including like the massive amount of lawyers and agents and bankers. I mean, that deal was really complicated, especially compared to the first one. The first game cost $3 million. The second game we spent a total of almost $9 million on direct development costs. And I think that the $3 million we spent on the first game also included to some degree the marketing money that was spent on it. So, you know, the second game was like $9 million in direct development costs plus another probably, you know, $5, $6, $7 million on marketing expenses. And, you know, games just keep getting bigger and more complicated and take bigger and bigger teams to make. So, big difference in the way the games were made. You know, we had really tight production processes on the second game. We had multiple producers across different, you know, departments within the studio. When I was, you know, my role on that, I was in a meeting room sort of 8 hours a day doing review of all the content that we were building. It was really intense. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
I think it probably does.
All right.
Seemed pretty detailed.